Hey everybody, it's Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live. I am sorry, I had a little technical problem there for a minute. So listen, today is Monday, November 16th, 2020. We're again in the final hour of the trading day. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate it. I had a little technical issue there for a minute. Whenever I have an update, a Windows update, it seems that it messes everything up. So sorry about that. But hey, how's everybody doing? Well, listen, the Dow Jones is currently up 315 points, up 1.6%, 1.06%. The Nasdaq's up 37.46, up 0.31%, and the S&P is up 24.24, up 0.671%. We're again in the final hour of the trading day, my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. And I say this because at the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they take control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms who control it during the daytime. The large financial institutions are dealing with the most money. They have very smart people, best information, best technology, and in the long run, I think following what they do at the end of the day is an edge. It has worked out for me over the years. So, all right. Listen, here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. After that, I've had a couple day trades today that I'm going to share with you. After that, we're going to go over, take a look at the board, see how you are doing with your positions. I see a mixed bag over there, but more green than red, which is good. Then we are going to talk a little bit about trader psychology. Most important part of trading, the most important skill that you can develop and hone, which is discipline of creating a plan and following that plan. So, if you have problems following the plan, that's something you have to work on. And that's why I like to talk about this during the podcast, that segment during the podcast on psychology. After that, I've gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I do have three requirements before I enter any trade. First requirement, I want to have a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. I look at each indicator as a group of buyers, and if I can get as many groups of buyers coming in, and like I said, on multiple time frames, that's even better. Requirement number two, very important, risk to reward. You can have a great setup, but you may not have a decent risk to reward. I always want to have minimum 2 to 1. If I'm risking $100, I want to be able to make 200 or more to the upside. And the number three, always remember, and take a few minutes each day and take a look at your positions, see how correlated they are, and see how much account heat you have. Account heat is how much of your total capital you have in any one position. So those are my three requirements. I'm going to go down through the candidates that I looked at earlier. We're going to go down with a fine-tooth comb. I'm going to just see which one turns out to be the best trade of the day. Then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. If you need any clarification on anything that I discussed today, I'm happy to clarify for you. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to look at before the market closes, I'm very happy to do that. Just put the symbol in the live stream and put an asterisk by it so I know it's time sensitive, and I'll do my very best to get to it before the market closes. And then after the market closes, if you have any new updates for me, any new positions, any changes, additions, subtractions, if you could wait till the end of the day before you tell me, that way I'm done trading, pressure's off, and the market's closed. Okay, so that's the plan for today. Hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a look and see who is here. Lava74. Hey, how you doing, Lava74? Hi all, made it through 9 chapters of Trading in the Zone this weekend. I think it's already helping to get my mind right. Thanks for the suggestion. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's such a great book. Every trader should read that book, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. That book is probably the #1 book on trader psychology. I have read it many times. I read it once a year just to get my mind right as well. So I'm glad that that's helping you, Lova, and keep reading it. Everyone should read it, and it's free on YouTube. Just type in Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas, free audiobook. Quad Racer is here. Hey, good afternoon, Greg and group. Happy Monday. Good afternoon, Quad. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good day. Kamal is here. Hey, Kamal. Good to see you. Thanks for the results of the scan today, and thanks for everything that you do with working on the scan, the coding, always improving it. I appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone else does too. Stephen Burns is here. Hey, Steve. Good to see you, my friend. Always nice to see you here. Always an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. Steve says, hello, everyone. Rarely a dull day in the markets in 2020. How many times can the market rally on vaccines? First Pfizer and Moderna. Yep, I was talking about that with someone else earlier today. It seems like a really green market, but it's not that green when you look around. Bob is here. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Bob says, hello, everyone. Hello, Bob. Johan is here. Hey, good to see you, Johan. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're having a good evening. Yavar is here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Yavar. Nice to see you. Always appreciate you coming by. Quad says, Greg's computer seems to be crossing into another dimension. Yes. Every time I get a Windows update, it changes something, and I don't know until I start the podcast. Gary is here. Hello, Greg and group. Gary M. How you doing, Gary? Nice to see you, my friend. Ava. Hello, Ava. Nice to see you. Happy Monday, Greg and all. Happy Monday to you. Frank says, hello, Greg and group. The market loves getting a shot in the arm. Ha ha. Very nice. Very nice. Jatin is here. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Hello. Good afternoon to you as well, sir. Steve says Beyond Meat is trying to get back over the 200-day moving average with the RSI at 31. Yep, I have that on my list today as well. I took that on Thursday. I got stopped out on Friday, but I have noticed over my years of trading, if you take a signal and you get stopped out and you get a signal again, I know there's something weird, like you kind of don't want to take it because you just lost on it, but in my experience, so many times that second or even third signal is the one that really goes. So we'll look at that. And Steve says AGQ is trying to signal a 520 cross today as well. Yep, I have that on my list also. Dan says, hi, Gossett. My neighborhood recently flooded. Oh no. Glad to be okay. Just saying hello and wishing you all the best of goodbyes. Oh, Dan. So I've seen a lot of flooding around. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope everything, what an inconvenience and a pain. And anyway, main thing, glad that you're safe. And I appreciate you stopping in and saying hello, Dan. Steve says, Dow Jones set to make its quickest recovery from a bear market since 1991, 190 days and 193 days from the last record high. Wow. And Glenn says, hi, Greg. Hey, Glenn. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well, sir. Okay. Well, here we go. Let's get to it. QLYS. Gary, Johan, and myself are in this. I had high hopes for this. I kind of did. I shouldn't, but I had high hopes. I liked this setup. I liked that we had this big move up bar here. We came back down. We tested halfway of that. Then we had a nice little higher low V2. Here's day 1, 2, 3. Day 2 washed out day 1. Day 3 closed above day 1's close. Plus we had positive MACD crossover. But, all these signals, it didn't matter. In the long run, it does. If you take any one trade, you just never know. But if you take 100 trades with this setup, I'll bet you anything that more than probably 65% of them are going to be winners. So this red line here is the halfway of the washout bar on Thursday. It's possible that this could hold above. I mean, it's possible. Not likely, but possible. But if it does not, I'm going to have to just go ahead and get out of the trade because that's my trade plan. It's down $2.15, down 2.32%, which is a bummer. SPY. All right. Good news on this overnight SPY trade. I did buy the overnight SPY trade Friday at 358.10. I sold it today at 361.10. Oh, did I get? Hey, I can do that math. Exactly $3 overnight. So grateful to have that with the QLYS down today. But grateful to have the SPY, and been a couple good days on the overnight SPY trade, and Frank's in that with me as well. VIX. All right. So Ramble Ron, Quad, and I, we bought VIX way back here last week at 1991 with an under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third. Immediately went down for a couple days. Then we had a nice big up day where I was able to take some profits off at profitable levels, which is good because, then it just went down after that. So taking those profits up here helps mitigate the loss here. It's down 2 cents today. It was higher earlier. It was up over 0.5%, but my stop on this is a close below the 30 RSI. So this one is also underwater. Alibaba. So I did sell a put on Alibaba today, and I sold the puts at $180 expiring January 15th of 2020. So what is that? There's a couple months. If the stock stays above $180 by that time, I'll make $162 per contract. I picked the $180 strike price because of the confluence of the -1 ATR channel and the 50-month moving average here. So those are two levels of support. Also on the weekly, that $180 price move lines up just below the 200-week moving average. So there's another level of support. And then over on the daily, that $180 that $180 strike price lines up with the previous lows back in March. So the delta is only 5, meaning there's only about a 5% delta, but the premium really was not so bad considering how far below that strike price is. So, when you sell puts, I always like to look at multiple time frames. I always like to look for support on multiple time frames, and that's where I pick my strike price. All right, gold. I had a day trade on gold today. I didn't do a lot of day trading today. I had an appointment I had to go to mid-morning. Where are we here? Here is gold. We went way up here. We pulled back. We held steady for 2 bars. Then we had a V1. I entered here at 177.17. Moved up nicely. Whenever I have a nice kind of big up thrust move, I do take profits. I took profits, half profits at 177.29. And then here on this bar, it came all the way back to my entry point before it started to rip higher, but still a profitable trade. In at 117.17, got out at 177.17, got out at 177.29, and on for half the position, and the other half was just break even. And then lastly, Apple. I was short on Apple on this trade, and I'll show you why. Here we go. Here is a lower high. Here's the high. We came back down. We made a lower high, then we triggered a V1 to the downside. In addition to that, as we made higher highs, there was no MACD whatsoever. This is called double tops. This is actually a triple top in a way. With a bearish divergence, that is a bearish signal. So I waited for my signal. I shorted at Apple at 120.63. First big move down, I covered at 120.37. Here we rejected the 50. I covered at 120.29, and then the next bar we had a close above the previous day's high. So shorted at 120.63, covered at 120.50, covered at 120.37, and covered at 120.39. So not too bad. Two decent day trades, not huge or anything, but definitely helped. Definitely helped with the loss over on QLYS. All right. Dan says, thumbs up for Greg. He's a great guy. Ah, thanks, Dan. Appreciate that, my friend. And hope you're okay there with that flooding. Frank has a poem for us. A watched pot never boils. Chasing stocks bring on risk and toil. Frustration can turn a trade into spoils. Size your position to your disposition. That's great. Do what is right to fit your own conditions. Oh, that's so spot on, Frank. I mean, my gosh. Frank knows an awful lot about trading to be able to write these poems and make them so relevant and just so perfect. Let's try that one more time. A watch pot never boils. Chasing stocks bring on risk and toil. Frustration can turn a trade into spoils. Size your position to your disposition. Do what is right to fit your own conditions. Just 100% perfect. I mean, what does that mean? It means you have to trade according to your personality and your tolerances. 100%. David is here. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. David says, hi, Greg and group. Hello, David. Nice to see you, my friend. Jatin said, great, Frank, sir. 100% true. 100%. 100% true. That is for sure. All right. Let me check a little something over here. All right, let's take a look and see. Kamal had two entries today, two intraday entries that he told me about earlier in the day, and that has moved up nicely for him. Kamal bought Shopify. I'm not exactly sure what the signals were that he bought, but nonetheless, he bought one part at 893, the other part at 900. It is up to 913 points. So he's made 13 there and he's made 20 there. Wow, that's a big move, Kamal. Congratulations, my friend. All right, Brian. Brian bought Nike with this pullback to value in this V2. He bought it at 128.30. It is currently 128.41, up 0.88%. Very nice, Brian. Oh, I forgot. I got so busy with my Apple stuff, my intraday trades. I've done this many, many times. Okay, Stephen, Burns, Frank, Yas, Gary, Bob, Johan, Quad, and myself. We did buy Apple back here with the 1030 crossover. And if we look over here at the 1030 crossover on Apple, we will see this is where the pink line crossed over. That's a good back-tested approach. Steve and I and the rest who took this signal got in about 116.58. Well, let me go back over. All right, so Steve's in at 117.79. Yass's is at 116.61. Gary's in all the way down at 108. Bob, Johan, Quad, and myself. And so anyway, I did hit one profit target today at the very high, which I'm really glad for because it's come off the top since then. But anyway, the 10 is still above the 30, just hanging in there with that and taking profits as we go. So sorry about skipping over that. I always forget. Okay, we talked about Brian. Brian's up from 128.30, 129.50 on Nike. AMD, Steve took the 1030 EMA crossover. Let's look at that over here for Steve. 1030 EMA crossover, bought it at 81.26. It is at 83.23. So that's very nice move for Steve. Congratulations, bud. So both your positions, both the Apple and AMD are up nicely today. Very nice. GoDaddy. Johan took GoDaddy. I think that was here. Yep. Right here at 73.30. At 73.70. It's at 74.29, up 0.8%. So very nice, Johan. This is a monster trade. Dave took Berkshire Hathaway back here, rejected the 200-day moving average 3 times, rejected the 30 RSI twice, bought it at 201.40. Good risk to reward if he was wrong, and nice huge up move if he was right. This is up 2.11% just today. From entry, David's looking at about a 13.37% move, excluding any scaling that he's done. So beautiful trade there, David. Very, very nice. All right, Gary, the puts, the 4540 puts that you sold expiring this Friday. If Intel can stay above $45 by this Friday, Gary will be able to keep all the premium on his spreads. Currently, it's at 46.02. It is up it's up 56 cents today. So the key thing for Gary, he doesn't care if it closes at 45.01. He just needs it to close above 45, and he's got some wriggle room there. He's got $1 for wriggle room. So very nice. EXAS, Ava bought EXAS at 121.20. It is 121.17. So just down about 3 cents on the trade, pretty much a break-even trade here. Okay, GDX, Yas bought GDX back here at 53.20. It moved up very strongly. I know he told me that he took some profits on the way up, which I'm glad, because it came all the way back down. It was up earlier today, but it is down 39 cents, 0.71% today. The Qs, Frank took a half a position in the Qs at 284.60. It is currently 292.22. Very nice. Up on the day, up on the trade. Blue, Kamal took blue here at 45.17. It is currently 46.18. Up on the day, up on the trade. QLD is Ava. Bought it at 95.80. It is currently 99.91. So that is a very nice trade up on the trade and also up on the day. Workhorse, Bob bought Workhorse here at 19.16. It is currently 19.91. It's up 69 cents today, up 3.59%. So very nice. GILD, Quad Racer bought GILD at 60.81. It is currently 61.03. So up on the day, up on the trade. AT&T, Johnson bought AT&T at 28.91. It is currently 28.98. So it is up a little bit on the day and up a little bit on the trade. And then we have 2 more. Google. Jatin bought Google at 17.48. It is nicely up today. It's at he bought it at 17.48, right, and it's at 17.81, up $4.76 today. So up on the day and nicely up on the trade. And lastly is Zynga, ZNGA. Bob bought Zynga at 7.91. Immediately took off, but down 2.46% today. But I think, yeah, he's still in the money by 2 cents. Still in the money by 2 cents. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at some of the setups that we had on Friday. I did not take these setups, but I think it's a good idea that we, kind of take a look and see. My main point of this is to show you that not every setup works, and sometimes, I'll point out why I didn't take it, and who knows, maybe it went up, but if I really didn't like it, I would be surprised if it went up. Editus Medicine Edit. There was a higher low V1 here. I didn't take this. It is up 1 penny on the day. It was up higher, reversed. GoDaddy, okay, I didn't take this. This is up nicely. Johan did take this, so nice. ALNY, did not take that, also down 3.52% today. BWA, don't really see what the signal was there, to be honest with you, but it's up nicely. VMW, this was a higher low V2 here, and this is up nicely, 1.79%. ANAB, boy, Kamal, we were looking at this one. We knew this one was going to break one way or the other, didn't we? And this showed up on the scanner because of all the sideways motion. And sideways motion leads to big moves down or up. We just don't know which way. And looks like this one's moving down. ITB was a higher low V1 also. It is up 1.1% today. SOHU, there was a V2 yesterday. I didn't like that big old bar. It scared me. This is down 4%. CRI, didn't take this one. It rejected the 50, but it is up 1.11%. Silver had a 520 crossover. It is up 0.25% today, but I was waiting for the crossover on AGQ. TSN, did not buy that. It's up 3% today. Did not buy that because of earnings. And HAS, did not buy that because it was just too high for me to buy there and had rejected the -1 ATR channel. So anyway, I think more up than down, but anyway, you know, I have to stick with my rules. I have to try to take the best one. And unfortunately, the best one that I saw was QLYS, but it did not work out. It did not work out. And that's how it goes sometimes. GM is here. Good to see you, GM. Haven't seen you for a while. Thank you for coming to say hello. How's everybody doing? Healthy? I am healthy. I hope everyone else is healthy. Are you healthy, GM? Steve says, I'm long Beyond Meat at 127.51 on the break back over the 200-day moving average and the 30 RSI confluence today. Okay, yep, that is definitely one that I am looking at as well. GM says, here comes 3,700 on the SPX. And what are we at? We're at 3612. Very likely. Yavar says, is Roku V1 valid? You know, I was looking at this earlier for Kamal. And the answer is, in my opinion, no. We closed above the 1 ATR channel. We came into the value zone. We didn't have any sideways motion. We still have a lower high. See this low here, or this high here, Yavar? It's lower than this high. So if you come out of the value zone into the value zone, then you make a lower high. I don't take V1s or V2s until the price comes down and washes out that first low. So here we close above the 1 ATR channel. We come back into the value zone. This V2 is not valid because there was no sideways motion. We make a lower high. If I make a lower high and then subsequently I get a V1 or a V2, I will not take it unless it comes back and washes out that low. Now, that being said, of course, it could just go rocketing up, right? But those are just the rules. I play percentages. I know if I take this trade 100 times, I'm going to probably lose money on it. If I wait for the washout, it changes the context of the trade. But any one trade going here, but me personally, no, I would not take it. Jobson says, Dow Jones has the highest weekly and daily closing on Friday. If we look closely, that itself indicates there is momentum on the upside. Price leaves hints every time, irrespective of the news. That is so true. That is so true. The price is the real truth of what's going on. What you hear on the news is spin, possible manipulation, all sorts of stuff. The price tells the real story. That's the only true truth at the moment, is looking at the price, and that's why I trade price action. But thank you for that, Jet. And William, hey, good to see you, William. Hello there, people. Hello there, William. Good to see you. Okay. All right, so listen, before we move on, before we start going down through the potential entries for the end of day trade, keeping in mind 3 requirements, right? Confluence combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames, that's 1. Number 2, good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1 compared to your stop below you and likely resistance above you. And number 3, keep in mind how many positions you have, how many correlated positions you have, how much account heat you have. So we're going to go through those, but before I do, I just want to talk a little bit about trader psychology, get away from the chart for just a few minutes and talk about what really matters in the long run, what the number 1 skill of trading is. There are a lot of good Facebook and Twitter channels out there that spend a lot of time and energy and burn calories by posting really good things for us to read. And I really like this channel, Calm Trader, Student of the Market. And you can find them at @trader_calm, or just put in Calm Trader, Student of the Market. And let's see what Calm Trader has to say. While all others are making money on trade, but you are still stuck in losses, following your plan can be extremely difficult in that case. But believe me, it's the worthiest thing you can do at the moment. So, if you trade with a lot of people, you'll notice that some people go on, winning streaks, some people go on losing streaks, and yeah, it's frustrating when your methodology, what you're trading, is not working and someone else is. You should be happy for them. I am always happy for them. I put myself in their place, right? But people trade different methods, and I have seen this many, many times, especially among groups of friends that trade. If somebody's on a hot streak, the people that are not on the hot streak, that are losing, it's very tempting for them to want to change their trading methodology, maybe to keep up, maybe to try to catch up. I don't know, keeping up with the Joneses. But like Calm Trader says, following your while all others are making on the money, but you are stuck in losses, following your plan can be extremely difficult in that case. It can be extremely difficult, but believe me, it's the worthiest thing you can do at the moment. So what he's saying is, stick with the plan you have. It's like when you're driving in traffic and you see the one lane moving real quick, you're like, oh, I better go over there. And you go over there, and what happens? You know what happens. It stops, and then the lane that you were in moves forward more than you were. I think it's the best analogy I can give you. So stick with your plan. Some people are going to be making money while you're losing money, but remember, sometimes you're going to be making money and they're going to be losing money. But don't hopscotch and skip around and try to chase, and have some competition. Just stick with your plan. Know that your time will come and their time won't come, right? I mean, no matter what trading plan or a trading approach you use, there are always going to be drawdowns. There's always going to be times when you're winning, times when you're losing. So be very happy for people that are making money when you're not. Put yourself in their position. And more importantly, don't try to switch gears. Stick. If you feel comfortable, if you think you have a good trading plan and approach and you're just in a drawdown at that moment, just stick with it. And like Calm Trader says, it's the worthiest thing you can do at the moment. I don't think I've heard worthiest thing in a sentence for a long time, but it's totally true. So anyway, thank you, Calm Trader, for that. I definitely found that helpful, and I hope you found it helpful as well. Okay, well, let us go and take a look, see what's happening here. Beyond Meat. All right. Steve already entered Beyond Meat. Where'd you get in, Steve? 127.51. 127.51. Okay. 126.95. So I took this trade on Thursday. I had to stop out for a loss on Friday because we closed below the 200-day. I do like today's action again. We went under 30, back over 30. We went under the 200, over the 200, and more importantly, under the negative third channel, over the negative third channel. So this so far is the best potential entry spot for this trade because it has three confluences: under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third ATR channel, under the 200, over the 200. So the 200 right now is at 126.17. The price is at 126.95. As long as this stays above the 200-day moving average, I will keep it. If it closes under the 200-day moving average but still stays above the 30, I'm probably not going to take it. I want to see the multiple indicators lining up. From a weekly perspective, last week was big and down and ugly. But if we look at the weekly, some positive things going on here. We did reject the -1 ATR channel. So, when I'm looking at the daily, I want it to be really good. If I look at the weekly, I'm just trying to look for something positive. And what is positive here is the rejection of the 50, and the rejection of the negative 1 HER channel twice. So that is definitely on my radar for today. AGQ. AGQ is double leverage silver. The 520 crossover is a good long-term back-tested approach. Let's look at the numbers here. The light blue line is the 5 EMA. The darker blue line is the 20. Currently, it's at 45.21 on the 5, and it's 45.21 on the 20. So they're exactly even. Now, as far as ETF replay, the way that their rules are with the crossovers, if these two numbers are equal, that counts as a crossover. It doesn't have to be 45.22 and 45.21 as long as they're equal. So as long as these are equal at the end of the day, I would definitely consider taking this. I like where the crossover is happening right here in the value zone compared to the crossover happening way up here. So that I'll definitely be watching that at the end of the day. MTH had a little V1. MACD went positive. Boy, it is really winding up. See this wedge here? So it is definitely winding up. Which way it's going to go, I have no idea. But I really don't see a valid signal here today. Snowflake, that's that software company. Well, we had a false breakout to the downside here. Not quite. Not quite, we didn't. Scratch that. But we do false breakout from these lows, but not this low. Looks like we have a bullish engulfing bar. We definitely have a V1. Let's see how high we got on the RSI at the high. 48.16. It hasn't rejected the 50. It doesn't have a lot of data, so I'm not seeing my MACD or anything like that. I just don't know if it has enough for me to take. I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but it's a new offering, so there's not a lot of data. So with that being said, I think I just let that one go. OKTA. Well, this looks pretty good. We have a higher low V1 here. It currently is above the 5, the 5, the 20, and the 10. Nice V1, under 50, over 50, under the 50 SMA, over the 50 SMA. Now, if this closed under the 50 RSI, I would not take it. So this one's definitely okay. And we'll put that in the potential pile. PayPal closed below the negative 1 ATR channel, came into the value zone, came back down, big V1 here. Here's day 1, here's day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1, looks like it's going to close above day 1's close. This is very similar to OKTA, but the only difference, the way that I look at this, if we look at OKTA, it's very similar, but the MACD is positive on OKTA, and the PayPal MACD is not positive. So with that being said, I would give the nod to OKTA because it has one more potential group of buyers. So I hope that makes sense on how I look at that. INSG, I don't really see anything there. I don't like that it rejected the 200-day moving average above it. W had a false breakout to the downside. No double bottom with no legitimate double bottom with the bullish divergence, and it's untriggered. It's V1, so I don't see anything there. Wix.com tested this previous low earlier in the day. There was a V1, but no, I don't think I see anything here either. TLND is moving sideways here in the value zone and consolidating, which is good, but I don't see a clear signal. New York Times moving pretty strong here. Big strong close above the 200-day moving average. Well, actually the close happened on Friday. I would really prefer to watch this come back down, test the 200 at a lower price, giving me a better risk to reward ratio, or even closing under the 200 and then back over, giving me a higher low close above the 200. See here, we have low, we have a lower low. So we've made a lower low close above the 200. Many times the lower low closes fail. And if you can get a higher low close back above the 200, you have a better chance of having a stronger up move. So I'm going to pass on New York Times. $5.20 cross. I think that happened on 1920, 1922. Yeah, so we do have a 520 crossover there, although I am not sure. I think I've tried to backtest this many times. I'm not sure this backtest well, so I don't think I would get it in at this point, but I'm sure glad that Bob's in it and profitable. LAC is Lithium Americas. Boy, that's big and strong up there, isn't it? MACD crossover. But earnings tomorrow, so I'm not going to take that. Lululemon is very similar to OKTA and to PayPal with this. It's a higher low V1. We have rejected the 50 RSI already, which is not a great sign. So I'll pass there. Etsy, higher low V1, yet to be determined whether or not this is actually going to close up in the value zone. The rejection of the 100-day moving average. Let's look over on the weekly. Weekly's okay. It's found support here in the value zone. Only up 35 cents today. Yeah, for a minute there I was trying to make that work, but what I like the best here right now is I like Beyond Meat. If it closes over the 200-day, the 200-day is 126.16. It is currently 126.61, so it would be valid. Watch yourself if you buy this. There is a bit of a spread between the bid and the ask. Let's take a look, see what it is. Yeah, currently it's 10 cents. I've seen it as high as 30 cents. So, you know, just don't be hitting the market buy button randomly. If you have time, maybe you can try to middle it or maybe even get the bid. That's always nice on a big spread like that. But I am interested in buying this. This is a higher low close back above. Remember, I just talked about this. This is a lower low close above. That failed. Higher low closes. This is higher than this low. Higher low closes back above the 200-day, in my experience, are much, much better than buying the lower lows. Lower lows, they work sometimes for sure, but I do like this as long as it stays over 126.16. And AGQ, 45.22, 45.22. So that is legitimate, as is right this second, but kind of have to watch that because with one little down move, that could untrigger. And then OKTA. Pretty good with the under 50, over 50, over the moving averages. Looks like MACD is going positive. So those are my three potentials. I'm just going to have to wait till the end of the day here and see. So let me take a look at my current positions, see what's going on. QLYS definitely looks like I'm going to be getting out of QLYS with the close below the halfway. Unfortunate. I had some hope for that trade, but not to be. I got up this morning and I looked pre-market and it said it was up 3%, and I was like, oh, I knew it. Nope. VIX down 32 cents. I am keeping that till under the 30. Alibaba, I have the puts down there to 180. Gold, I can get rid of gold. Silver stronger than gold today. And Apple, of course, I have the 520 crossover. I'm glad it's up today. It's right there at 120 even. GM says, I added silver 1,000 shares. If it drops 17, 18, I'll add more, but I like the 22 area off the top. Okay, well, good luck with that trade, GM. So you added 1,000 shares. Very good. GM says, like, thumbs up, people. Thank you, GM. Evan says, Greg, any thoughts on NVIDIA? Well, it's working on a higher low V2, but right now, the thing that I would watch here, Evan, is it's at 50.66, and it is actually untriggered the V2. The close of day one here was 538.27. It's 538.14. So yeah, I think it's okay, decent, but it would have to close above Thursday's close of 538.27. And so if it does that, then it will close above the 50 RSI. So that it's okay. And my chart here says earnings coming up. Johan says UPS. That's very strong. That's very strong, Johan. We have a fractal. Here's a high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. We have a bullish engulfing bar up 2.49% today. Looks like we have a 520 crossover. I like that. I like that a lot. I like UPS a lot. That looks very, very strong. Danny says, Greg, can you take a look at CBAT? I bought 621. Should I sell or do you see it going higher? Thanks. Yeah, I like that UPS for sure, Johan. CBAT. You bought it at $6. Oh, goodness. Very nice, Danny. Should I sell or do you see it going higher? I mean, honestly, Danny, of course I would sell here. I would sell in a heartbeat. I mean, you haven't quite doubled your money. You've had two big climax bars. We have earnings coming up. You know, I don't know. I mean, I do know. I 100% would sell it. I mean, it could go higher. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to get you out of something that can go a lot higher, but you'll be risking it through earnings, right? And we all know what can happen through earnings. It could go racing up some more, or it could come crashing down. But just as a general rule, you know, buying when things are quiet and selling them when they have those like big climax bar up here, it definitely could go higher, but it's up 77.24% today. Congratulations, by the way, on the trade, Danny, for sure. But if you're asking my opinion, I would at least take half off. But personally, because there's earnings, I would take the whole thing off. But, you know, if for some reason you think that it's going to go up on earnings, selling half wouldn't be the worst decision in the world. But if it were me, I'd sell the whole thing. But wow, very nice, Danny. Congratulations. GM says 15 minutes left in the market. Tesla, please. Just because you said please. I don't see anything on Tesla here at all, GM. I mean, there's no valid signals whatsoever. It's down on the day. GM says silver will continue to be stronger than gold for a while. It's showing that today. Steve says, I'm buying 520 crossover NVDA. Oh, that looks good. Yep. Yeah. Remember earnings coming up there. Everybody be aware of that if my chart is right. GM says, congrats, Danny. GM says, awesome job. Thanks. All right, thanks. What about Blink? I bought at 1084. I don't know that symbol. GM says, always take at least your money. Leave in your gains if you don't want to close your position. That's true. That's true. Take something off there. I would just hate to see that come down. Yeah, GameStop is also very strong there, Johan. Nice bullish engulfing bar, washed out the previous low, V1. That is very good. That is very nice. All right. So I'm going to come down here, take a look at Beyond Meat. Is it still above 126.16? It is. AGQ 45.25 to 45.22. Yeah. So I'm going to buy Beyond Meat if it holds. If it doesn't hold, I will buy OKTA, but I'm not going to buy both. And I will buy AGQ because it's uncorrelated. It's not as correlated, right? Because it's a metal, not an equity, as long as the crossover holds. So that's what I am doing today. XLK. Yep, nice and strong. For me though, it's a little out of my range. It's over the one ATR channel, the green line here. We had the big bar down here, GM, and from a Fibonacci standpoint, this is probably where it's going to find some resistance, and it's almost right there. So I don't think I would, me personally, I would be buying XLK. Okay, Steve is long AGQ at 45.89 on the 520 crossover. Okay, sounds good. I think I'm right behind you on that one, Steve. Just going to wait till the last few minutes before I make my move. Hey, just saw AMD's making a new high for the day. Congratulations, Steve. Very nice, my friend. Looks like Nike's making a new high. Great, Brian. Shop doing very well for Kamal. Bought at 893 and 900. It's at 916. That's fantastic. All right, where'd you get in, Steve? 45.89. It is already in the money. 45.90. Very nice, very nice. Okay, Apple's doing pretty well. One profit target. Alibaba sold the puts. By the way, if you ever sell puts, cash secured puts, the tendency is to think, hey, I've got 25% protection here. I'm going to load up big time because I've got all this protection, and look how much the premium goes up if I buy a lot. You know, in my opinion, the best way to sell cash secured puts, I like doing them, but do them with a reasonable position size. If you find some good confluences of support, then I like to do them, but I do them with the same position size that I would take any other trade with. But, you know, there's times in the past where I want to 2, 3, 4, 5 times that because I have so much protection. But if it starts going against you, it can really put you back on your heels, and you might get scared out of the trade. Even if in the long run it closes out the expiration above the strike price. But sometimes if you go too heavy, so you know, I like cash secured puts. You have to put the time in to look for the right confluences of levels, but you know, be happy with just a little bit of premium that you make. Little bits of money over time add up. You know, since I've been trading, day trading, They're not huge wins, but boy, have they added up in a big way over the last 5.5 months. I'll tell you, they really, really have. And so it's kind of the same thing with puts, but you have to be very careful. They are risky. You need to put the time in, but in my case, I don't use any larger of a position size on selling cash secured puts than I do just with a regular directional trade. So I thought about that over the weekend, and I wanted to point that out to everyone. Okay, I just got rid of my QLYS. All right, I'm going to go ahead and buy Beyond Meat. $15-point spread there, but I don't think I'm going to have time to try to middle that. Okay, 45 seconds. AGQ. And AGQ. All right, there we go. So I did take my loss on QLYS. Shopify is making a new high on the day. Congratulations, Kamal. BRK is making a high. Congratulations, David. AMD is making a new high. Congratulations, Stephen. And that is the close. That is the close. All right. Well, listen, if you have your entries for me, if you'd like me to put them up on the board, this is the time. Go ahead, put them in the chat, and I'll get to them in just a second. We'll get them all updated. Just first, really want to just remind everybody that I do teach private lessons in the evening time via Skype. They're one-on-one lessons. I have been trading for almost 25 years now. I've studied one-on-one with some of the greats like Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. The course that I teach incorporates everything I've learned from these gentlemen over the last 25 years. It's a 15-hour course, 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours for a total of 15 hours. And it's an intense course. The format is basically I teach the lesson for that evening. I have you basically teach it back to me, and then we just go through and take trades one day by one day by one day. And, I teach you everything from emergency stops, end of day stops, phasing out, ultimate profit targets, intermediate term profit targets, all the stuff we talk about here. But you'll feel like you've traded for 3 or 4 years when we get done with this course on all the different approaches that I use. So the course is $1,000. I think it's worth every single penny. I know you'll be a better trader when you get done with the course. So if you are interested, reach out to me. You can send me an email. Email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. Just let me know you're possibly interested in taking the course. I'll respond and say, let's set up a Skype call. The Skype call is not a sales call. I sincerely just want to know a little bit more about you and your trading, your goals, your challenges, and then it's just a good time for you to ask me questions. And when we're done, I'll just say, great, think about it. If you're interested in the future, you know how to get a hold of me. And then if you like today's podcast, I would certainly appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Helps to build the channel, let YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. But, if and only if you found something helpful here today. But if you did, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Okay, so done with that. And let's see. We've got some, let's see. I'm going to start at the very top. Who is first? I think Steve was. Yes. Oh, all right. Hate to bump in line, but let me see where I got filled here. All right. So SPY, I got filled at 362.57. AGQ, I got filled at 45.91. And Beyond Meat, I got filled at 126.91. So, overnight SPY, bump, bump, 362.57 for the overnighter. I don't know if Frank's in or not. I haven't checked the live stream. All right, I got filled here at 45.91. Okay. And let's see, Steve Burns. Okay. And then Beyond Meat, I got filled at, oh, that's not going to work. $126.91. Okay. So SPY, check. Beyond Meat, check. And AGQ, check. All right. Okay. So Steve, I'm not going to put the price there, so close. Okay. Steve is also along NVIDIA. At 539.75. Okay, and that's Steve with the 520 cross. Okay. I will exit before close on Wednesday. Gotcha. Johnson said, hi Greg, do you let cash secured puts expire in the money or close it before expiry? It depends. Most of the time I close them if I kind of get above 70% of the premium. Kind of a rule that I use. Sometimes I just let them. If I have a bunch of them and I have to pay commissions on them and they're way, 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 out of the money, sometimes I'll just let them expire because I don't have to pay commissions on them. But I would say the majority of the time, Johnson, if they get 70, 75%, I'll usually just take them off so I can go looking for something else that maybe has a little more meat on the bone. Jatton says day high close again for the Dow Jones. Yes, yes. Ava says out of EAX this morning. Okay, I'm glad to hear that because it was higher. Nice trade there, Ava. Quad says no changes for me, Greg. Okay. Johan is out of QLYS. Yeah, what a bummer that one was, huh? In edit from Friday. Oh, maybe I don't have edit on here. I don't think I do. Okay. Maybe I forgot to put that one up. So we'll put you down right around the closing price there, Johan. Oh, that's a bummer. That was up nicely before it reversed around, huh? Oh, no, no, no. That's Kamal. Sorry, buddy. Okay. Okay. So not you were in Nike. All right. So I'm going to put Johan on there. All right. UPS. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one, Johan. NVIDIA. And Beyond Meat. Oh, why didn't that? Okay, I put it on there. It better stay there. Okay. UPS, I have Johan. NVIDIA, I have Johan. Beyond Meat, Johan. Okay. Kamal is out of QLYS. And Edit from Friday. And Shopify. Got you there. And I put the prices. GM says, I shared SLV position. I also bought Tesla. Oh, and you closed it. You closed it. You bought. Okay, so you're already out of that position. GM, do you mind telling me again what your silver trade was? Oh, never mind. Maybe more specifically, because you just said you added more. Maybe you could give me more specific on what you did. David bought NVAD. I knew I typed in Johan's name more than once. I knew it. Beyond Meat is also David. Frank is in the SPY. David, NVIDIA, Beyond Meat. Okay, I got that. David, sorry, plus Beyond Meat. Okay, I've got you on that, David Johnson. Okay. Tried to buy Beyond Meat and AG, but too late. All right, so out of QLYS. That's a bummer trade, man. I gotta tell you. My last 3 swing trades have not been so hot tamale, but it's how it goes. Sometimes you're on a roll and sometimes you're not. Kamal says, Johan, that Nike did well. Yes, Kamal says, NVIDIA has earnings number 18 after closes. Thanks, Kamal. Lova says, is it appropriate to ask a long-term investment question here? Sure. Go ahead and we'll see what we can do. No, Tesla is not closed position. Didn't you just say it closed? Oh, I see. I got you. If you can, everybody, try to be very specific when you have your trades, right? Because sometimes when I see the post, I can't tell 100% really what's going on. So try to be as specific as you can and as simple as you can. Okay. All right. So GM is long Tesla. Well, on silver, GM. All right, so I'm going to update this here for GM so we have a little bit more clear. Okay. Got you there on Tesla. All right, I think I've got everything. Gary says, thanks, Greg. Enjoy your hike today. Looks like some warmer weather in your area. Little bit warmer. It's been a little cold, that's for sure. All right, what's going on in the after hours world here? Apple's up 4 cents. AGQ's even. Beyond Meat's up 35 cents. SPY's up 19 cents. All right, all right. So I think I got the board correct. And who was it that had the big monster today? That was Danny. Wow, Danny, man, holy smokes. Congratulations. That must feel really, really good. Let's look at this beautiful chart again for Danny. Holy hamburgers. 82.76%. That is amazing. That is amazing. Lova says, I hear even young people should have a portion of their portfolio in low-risk investments. Why any at all? Why not all stocks? What do the low-risk investments accomplish? You know, Lova 74, I kind of agree with you. If you're a young person, I don't think I would be putting capital into something very risk-averse, low risk. I mean, in my opinion, when you're young, you have time on your hands. You have time, which is the greatest asset that you can have. I I don't know if I quite agree with that. I have a friend of mine that I'm helping her set up a fund for her grandchildren. And, we talked about what should be in it and so forth and so on. But I think if you're a young person, just investing in the SPY would just on a regular basis would be the way to go. I mean, the SPY's diversified anyway. It's diversified over 500 different stocks and different kind of industries. But I agree with you. Maybe somebody has another opinion on that, but I agree with you. I wouldn't say high risk, but I wouldn't say the S&P is high risk in itself. GM says silver should go to the 5470 area. It's a long-term hold, 1,000 shares so far. Next support 1718 if it gets there, but if it runs to 27, I'll stay with 1,000 shares. Okay, sounds good. Frank says, oddly enough, under 30, over 30 works well with hiking temperatures. It's true. That under 30, over 30, it's versatile. It is definitely versatile. That's great. Johan says, haha, Frank, oddly enough, that's also true in Celsius. Ah, coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the under 30, over 30 is like Fibonacci now. All right, so SPY, have the overnight SPY trade. VIX, this has been a stinker, but I'm hanging on. I'm trading the plan. Baba, that's my new entry today with the puts, selling down all the way down there to 180. Pretty good premium for that, I gotta say. Beyond Meat, great signal there. It doesn't mean it's gonna work. And Steve's in this. Why? I have a ghost in my computer. Steve. I know Steve's in there, right? Steve's in there. Yep. That's a good risk to reward ratio. I mean, talk about waiting for the right setup to appear. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to go up, but that is a great risk to reward. 3 confirmations, under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third, under the 200, over the 200. If we're wrong, hopefully we're wrong small. If we're right, maybe we can zoom up into this area. Who knows? But that's a great example of being patient, waiting for a confluence of signals, giving you, potential for low risk if you're wrong. I mean, it could go all the way down. Of course, I'll set my emergency stop for this regardless, but we're about as close to our level as we could possibly get. Johnson says, jackpot for Danny. Enjoy. I agree. Congratulations, Danny. That is fantastic. Love says, thank you. I've chosen for my long term to be in the Federal Employee C Fund. All the life funds have a portion in the G and F funds. Oh yeah, I've heard of those before. Yeah, I think when you're young, you have to take a little bit of risk. And, the S&P 500 is like its own little mutual fund. They take the bad ones out, they put good ones in. I wouldn't call it high risk, moderate risk. And I think that's what you need. But you've seen all those tables. If you put $1 a day away when you're young and it goes into a money market, it's hardly anything, but taking the risk, the only way to make money is you have to take risk, right? And if you not if you're, in retirement age, you don't want to take a ton of risk, but when you're young and you have a lot of earning potential and you have a lot of time on your sides to get you, through maybe some major drawdowns, and you keep adding more each month. So that's how it really works. Works well. All right. So NVIDIA, Steve, Johan, and David. Shopify, Kamal got a great buy on Shop. Nike, Brian and Johan had a nice move up there today. AMD, Steve had a beautiful trade there, up 2.84%. And new GM bought January 15th, 21 call, $500 calls. UPS, that's a big, strong move there, Johan. Be interesting to see what that does, but I like the look at that chart for sure. And AT&T was up a little bit for Johnson. Good. Good, good, good. Glad to hear it. Johnson says, if I want to buy TDOC, I'll tell you what, Johnson, why don't you take a shot at telling me where you think would be a good entry point? Could you do that for me? You know, look at the daily, look at the weeklies, look at the indicators, and maybe you could shoot back in the chat there what you think would be a good location to buy that. I mean, I'll give you my opinion, but I'd like to hear yours first. It says SPX has a wide range for 2021, a 6,000 area. Wow. Believe it or not. That would be fantastic. I think my SPY trade would be, my overnight SPY trade would do pretty well with that. So AGQ's up 14 cents after hours. Beyond Meat's even. But anyway, we bought Exxon down here. We sold puts down to $25, and look at this. This thing from entry has gone up almost 18%. Of course, the puts have gone way in the money, and also got a dividend, and I think right now it's paying 9.65%, but I think down here we were close to 11%. So that really worked out. We said, boy, we have a lot of upside. Dividend, if it holds, great, and make the premium on the puts. So that has been one of my best trades. Unfortunately, I didn't take it. It's just in an account that I manage. All right, Johnson, I don't know if you're still there. We were talking about Teladoc. Teladoc, lower high, V1, V2, and closes above 200-day moving average. Yeah. So when I read your post, Johnson, it said long term. So maybe I was looking at it a little bit differently than you. Yeah, a nice strong close above the 200 would be great. What I was looking at here was the 250-day moving average. And let's see tomorrow where a 30 RSI would be. So 30 RSI would be all the way down here. I think trying to catch a rejection of the 200-day moving average below you, I think that would be a decent spot. Close above the 200, it would be a higher low close above the 200, which I always like those better, right? Here's a lower low that closed above and failed. Does that make sense? This is lower than here. We went up. A lot of times those just V-looking moves tend to fail. But if we go up tomorrow and close above the 200-day, then it's a higher low close above the 200. So that would be decent if it moved up above the 200. Also, if we had a rejection of the 250-day moving average or a rejection of the 30 RSI, or if we switch over to the weekly, let's see, the weekly, that 50 there, that's a nice strong upward 50, would put you at about 168. If you traded off the weekly with the rejection of the 50, that would give you a good risk to reward on the weekly. And I think if you, like we talked about, a close back over the 200 would be a decent low risk area, or if it goes lower, a rejection of the 250-day. Johnson says, or like a cash secured put at 165. Yeah, I think, okay, so, the way that I look at these is if I were to do a cash secured put on Teladoc, I would probably want to give myself a little bit more breathing room, like maybe down to 130. It won't pay a ton, But when I do cash secured puts, I want to give it some type of leeway. What would that be down? That'd be down 27%. That's quite a lot, but let's take a look and see whether or not that lines up with anything nicely over on the monthly. Yeah, right there, back in the value zone. Yeah, you could do a cash secured put as well, but I mean, if we did it down to the 250, that's a 7%. I don't know. I think I'd want a little bit more. I think I'd switch to that longer time frame and probably go down here to the negative third ATR channel. That's just me though. I think 170 is a little close. GM says, thanks, Greg. Have a wonderful night. Heart, heart. Heart, heart, right back, GM. Thank you. All right. Listen, I'm going to take off, go for a hike, go out, enjoy the sun a little bit, and enjoy the day. Please try to do something nice for somebody today. And during the rest of the day, just go out of your way. Try to do something nice for somebody. If you try to do that every day, it'd make the world a better place. If you could please go out, try to do something nice for an animal today. That would be doubly as good. If you have a pet or you come across a stray, just give them some kind words, pat them on the head, scratch their back, throw the ball, give them a little treat, give them a little cuddle, something like that. So one nice thing for a human, one nice thing for an animal, that would be fantastic. So anyway, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Congratulations it's Danny, right? Yeah, it's Danny Messi. Congratulations, Danny. That is a fantastic trade. Very proud of you. That's fantastic. And so everybody enjoy the rest of their day, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.